Hey there, vinyl lovers, listen up. It's time to take your vinyl experience to the next level with SidetrackedWorkshop.com. Sidetracked Workshop has gorgeous, handcrafted record storage, exquisitely cool turntable furniture, all made with beautiful hardwood out of the USA. Sidetracked Workshop blends style, functionality, and durability. You spend a small fortune on records, don't keep them in a crate. Store and display in style with a console or cabinet from SidetrackedWorkshop.com. Elevate your vinyl setup at SidetrackedWorkshop.com.
And now, on with the show. Welcome to The Vinyl Guide, the podcast for record collectors and music nerds. Here's your host, the biggest record nerd of them all, Nate Goyer.
Well, hello everyone and happy holidays. It's Nate. Welcome to episode 479 of The Vinyl Guide, the podcast for record collectors and music nerds. I think this is going to be my last episode of 2024. Don't worry, I've got a ton more ready to go, kicking off 2025 very strong indeed. But I wanted to share this before we got too far down the line because it's important. We have spoken to an absolute pioneer of punk rock music, a dead set Australian legend, James Baker, a man who has seen it all, lived many lives, hailing from Perth, yet discovered punk music early and even traveled to witness it for himself. As a young man, James went on a sojourn to the US and the UK to see bands like The Damned and the Ramones in their very early stages, had some amazing experiences, developed some great friendships, then brought all of that wisdom back to Australia and made some of the most important music of the punk genre, certainly to come out of Australia, if not the planet. This included The Victims, The Scientists, The Hoodoo Gurus, The Beasts of Bourbon, and many others in between. James spearheaded much of the DIY aesthetic of the time, and as a consequence, has been hailed as an Australian music legend, and his past vinyl catalog is highly collectible. We talk all about that today, plus he's as humble and as charming as they come. My friend John Foy said something to the effect of, you'd have to go a long way to find someone who has a bad word to say about James Baker, and even then, they're still wrong. And I think you'll enjoy this conversation today. We laughed a lot. He's a good dude. And I got to let you know, he's part of this new Beasts album, Ultimo. You got to check it out, thebeasts.bandcamp.com. Their new album, Ultimo, is available with a live album coming with it only for a short time. So grab it quick, thebeasts.bandcamp.com. James also has a new single, The James Baker Beat, cheersquad.com.au. There's only a couple hundred of these available, so make sure you pick it up. The James Baker Beat, cheersquad.com.au, and keep your eye out for a few more projects, which James teases today. Now, I'm not going to prattle on why everyone should be following the Vinyl Guide podcast in their podcast app and clicking that follow button. That's old news. You guys should already be doing that. You're smart people. I trust that you're doing the right thing. But what I do want to share with you is my heartfelt thanks for all your listenership of the years, certainly of 2024 and before. Those of you who are sharing these podcasts on social media and putting them in Reddit forums and Facebook groups and putting them on Instagram, everything like that, that is hugely appreciated. And each of you who are writing positive reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, well, there's a special place in heaven and my heart for each of you. And seriously, that's hugely appreciated. And a big mwah going out to all of our Patreon supporters at patreon.com/vinylguide. You know, I've kind of been unemployed a lot this year, so that is hugely appreciated. If you guys like this podcast and you're not yet a Patreon supporter, well, you know, hop on over there, patreon.com/vinylguide. Give us a bit of a sponsor, and that is hugely appreciated. All right, back to the task at hand. Let me get out of your way, and please enjoy this conversation with Australian music legend, James Baker. James Baker, so glad to have you on the show. An absolute honor to have you on and talking vinyl and music and collectibles and all that good stuff. First off, James, are you a bit of a record nerd, like a collector, someone who looks for records?
No, not really a collector. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan. If I like it, I go and buy it. Mm-hmm. So I don't buy it to, because a lot of people I know buy them for collectors, but, you know, no, I was more just a fan.
Yeah. And at a young age, you were born and raised in Perth, yeah? So did you have a lot of money for records? How easy was it to find music back then for you?
Sometimes it can be easy. A lot of times you have to order it in from America or England. But there was, if you searched around, you could get the records you want. Right. Like I read about the New York Dolls, and I thought, I want to buy this. And I had to go in and order it.
So is that how you discovered punk? Just reading about it and then finding it somehow in Perth?
Yeah. Reading about it, definitely. Cream and Circus and rock scene and Rolling Stone and Enemy,
Uh-huh.
You can find out about the music.
That was quite early days. So for you to be looking in the magazines and trying to find the music and experimenting, did you want to be a musician first, or were you seeking that punk rock music first?
Punk rock, I played in some small bands here before 1976, but some of those bands were influenced by the Stooges and the MC5 and that, but they didn't really get around to doing anything, recording or anything. So I went to America for 6 months and we went to London for 6 months between 76 and early 77. So a lot of influences come there. So I decided when I got back here, I'm going to start a sort of punk band. So,
what was the reason for the travel? Was it a holiday or were you seeking something?
No, it was just a holiday.
Okay. And was this a high school thing? Or
No, I was 21.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm not good at math, by the way.
Yeah.
you were born in 54, so hang on. Don't tell me. I'm going to be doing my calculation here. Let me carry the 1. You're 716 years old. Got it. Okay. So at 21, you take off on a holiday to the U.S. and the U.K. Was it a discovery for music? What was the purpose behind that trip?
Most of it was for music,
Mm-hmm.
Music that I loved, So I didn't really get around and see the country that much. You can go and see Stonehenge anytime, but you can't, watch the Dam played in the local pub,
That's right. So you went to London, you went to New York. Where else did you go?
In Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, and New York, and then London.
And talk to me about some of the experiences and some of the bands you got to see in those early days.
Right. There's a lot of the punk bands. So the Ramones and the Flaming Groovies in Los Angeles at the Roxy Club. Wasn't too many bands in Los Angeles in 1976. The only band that I'd ever heard of before was the Runaways, and they didn't play a gig the whole time I was there. So I don't think their album was out, and I was aware of them. So I would have gone to see them, but they just didn't play.
Did you go to Rodney's English Disco? Was that open at the time you were there?
I think that is shut, and the Whiskey A Go-Go was shut for renovations. So the only clubs I had there were the Roxy and the Starwood. That's the only two places I went.
And you saw the Ramones there, so I would have thought...
Ramones and the Flaming Groovies, on a double bill. I think the Flaming Groovies were headlining. They were both the Sire Records people,
Mm-hmm.
But I saw other bands that I saw, like CBGB's, when I went to New York, the Ramones played 3 nights in a row, and the Heartbreakers played 3 nights in a row, and the Dictators played 3 nights in a row. And they had bands like Talking Heads supporting the Ramones, and the Dead Boys supported the Ramones as well. Yes, that's right.
Oh my goodness! So you were seeing these bands in their prime.
Yes, when there's only about 100 people there.
Did you realize at the time when you were seeing these bands? Did you realize how pivotal the time was or how impactful those experiences were for you?
Not immediately at the time, but well, maybe a year later or 6 months later, the music kept on coming out, and some of the old the dinosaurs of them, not there anymore.
With crowds that small, 100 people here and there, I mean, you must have befriended some of them, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Some of the people I met, at Waterloo from the Heartbreakers, Dick Manitoba. I was waiting in a queue to get in to see the Dictators at CBGB's, and Dick Manitoba walked past, and I was wearing a button of Brian Jones, which I had about 3 or 4 of because I bought them in LA. And he had a heart attack. He says, "Oh, I'll buy it off you." I said, No, just get me in for free. And so he did. He just grabbed me and said, "Come, this boy's a guest of Dick Manitoba. Let him in." And just got in for free. And he bought me a Guinness.
So you were into Brian Jones very early on. I mean, it's possibly inspired your haircut as well.
Oh, yeah, that's what everyone says.
Are we right, or was there another?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up with the Stones, and the Beatles, I suppose. Yeah.
And you were meeting some of these people just around. Like I heard the story how you met Sid Vicious. Well, you met Richie on the bus. Is that right?
Yeah. John Ritchie.
John Ritchie.
That's his name.
And you guys just had this random meeting. What made you have that conversation? What made you meet?
He come down and sat next to me because I was wearing a Dolls t-shirt, and he said how much he liked the Dolls, and he said, Johnny Thunders might be coming to England, and because he was friends with McLaren and all those people, the Sex Pistols, basically. And yeah, they come over and join the Anarchy tour. The ill-fated Anarchy tour, where they had about 20 gigs booked and they only played 2, I think, or something like that, maybe 3. Because they were banned because they went on the radio and said bugger or something like that. Nothing heavy.
Were you drumming with anyone? Because you were a musician by this time. Did you sit in and have some sessions or jam at all?
I did audition for The Clash. I met Joe and Mick at a Damned gig, and I said, I like your band, and I saw him the week before, and he goes, yeah, we're looking for a drummer, and I go, oh, I can play the drums, and I auditioned, but I didn't get it, the audition, but they liked me, but
okay.
I got invited back for another shot, but I was penniless, and I had my ticket back to Australia, and I thought, no, I couldn't afford it to cancel my thing and hang around,
Mm-hmm.
But I never thought they'd get that big.
You may have stuck around.
Yeah.
Well, it always seems like, again, just looking at your career, you start some of these projects and you're there right at the very prime, at the very early days in the meat of the project. Because you seem to be a guy who likes new experiences, who likes to have.
Oh,
those,
yeah. I definitely,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got two bands here that no one's ever heard of, but the Painkillers and Rocking Hindi, they all got records out, but yeah, I don't think they made it to the States or anywhere else. I don't think they even made it outside Perth.
So when you returned to Perth, you were, 22, maybe 23, something like that. You collected records along your way. Did you bring back any music that they hadn't heard in Western Australia yet?
Oh, yeah, quite a bit of music, You could probably eventually buy some of those records, but rare Flame and Groovy stuff like that, that's pretty hard to get,
Mm-hmm. Original Damned stuff, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I got the original Damned one with the wrong cover on the back.
Oh,
first 1,000 pressings or something. It's worth about $2,000.
Yeah, with Eddie and the Hot Rods on the back, I think.
On the back, yeah.
Okay. You still have all those records, or are they lost to time? Oh, yeah.
No. Had an original copy of Little Johnny Jewel, and so the guitar player in our band smashed it accidentally. So that's a great record. You know that one?
I don't. And I don't know how you smash a record accidentally.
I dropped it on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Concrete floor.
Okay. Did you ever find another one?
He bought me another one, but it's some 12-inch remix, and it's not the same.
Oh, no. Okay. All right.
There's a little single on Orc Records, which is a small label in New York. Probably worth a bit of money.
Okay.
Too scared to look it up.
We'll see if we could locate you one. So you came back with I guess a lot of experience and a lot of lessons. Was it then when you formed the Victims, or were there a few steps in between?
They played in another band called the Geeks, who actually put an ad in the local paper saying they wanted a singer to be in a band influenced by the Ramones. And I thought, oh yeah, this could be all right. And we played, but we rehearsed and that and never played. So then I met Dave, and he wanted to do something and move it, and I wanted to do that as well. And so we just started that and the Victims, and we were ready to go in about. It took us about a month.
Were you aware of some of the other bands that were around Australia, like the Saints? Were you aware of what was happening there? Okay.
Yeah, I was in Rough Trade in London when the guys pulled out the I'm Stranded, the original version. And I thought, for Brisbane, this is unheard of, And I've heard of Radio Birdman, but that's the only two. I found out a few more when I got back, like the Psychosurgeons and Boys Next Door and a few other bands.
Well, was it tough being in a punk band in Perth, or did the remoteness kind of work in the favor?
People actually liked us. We had people come and watch us, but again, about 100 people. That's all we could ever pull. And we were the only sort of. Well, no, there was another punk band called the Cheap Nasties. So I had Kim Salmon in it, but they didn't last too long. And nor did the Victims. The Victims done all that stuff in 8 months.
8
finished.
Months? Pillar to post. That was it. 8 months.
Yeah.
Jeez, you guys work fast. So you did that. You did the single "Television Addict." What are your memories of how that single came to be?
I read the morning newspaper about this guy that blamed television for his crimes, and that's what the song was about. And I wrote it with Dave Faulkner. Mm-hmm. He had to come up with a great riff. And it was the first record I ever made and the first time I ever been in a studio. And Television Addict was a first take. We didn't, even though there's a drum mistake in it. But no one knows the drum mistake.
Ooh, I'm gonna listen for it.
Yeah, I bet you won't find it.
Okay.
I dropped a stick and picked up another one. That sort of error.
Okay.
Not a real bad error.
Okay. All right. So you missed one hit of a stick, it sounds like.
No, I don't think I missed a beat. That's the strange thing about it. Yes.
Well, that's not a mistake then. That's a
no, I know, but I mean, it's dropping a drumstick in a recording studio. You just stop the song and start again. Live, you can't do anything about that. So you've got to grab another one and keep going.
Oh, so the only one that knows about it, the only one that recognizes is probably you, because it probably just
Yeah, that'd be right. Yes.
but I am going to listen for it. So, okay, you guys did you came up with the idea for a single, and you knew it was going to be this song, Television Addict. Did you have a couple of other songs that you were thinking about, or was it always going to be Television Addict and Flipped Out Over You?
No, it was always going to be Television Addict because we thought that was the best song we had at the time, Mm-hmm. And a lot of the songs sounds like Flipped It Over You. You could have picked up TV Freak and, those similar songs.
At that point, did you have quite a few songs? You were playing live gigs, so I assume that you had at least half a dozen or more.
Oh, no, we had more than that. We did some reunions recently, and I think it was the set had 23 songs in it.
Wow. Okay.
Most of them go for a minute and a half.
I was going to say.
The set's over within an hour.
So you made the single. Do you remember, did you know how to press the records? How did you guys discover, how to get a record pressed?
Someone told me the only way to do it is to send it to EMI Custom Pressing in Sydney. So we got the master tape and just put it in a post bag, which is not the right way to catch, and just sent it across to them, and then they sent 500 copies back.
Did they send you a test press or anything? Like, here's what we think, or it was just very.
Yeah, I can't remember getting a test pressing.
Okay,
and it was pretty quick too. We got it back within a month. So
you pressed 1,000, is that right?
We ended up pressing 1,000. Yeah, I was shop in Sydney, ordered 200 copies.
Which shop was that? That wasn't Phantom.
White Light was called.
Yeah, that's a very infamous shop here in Sydney. So you pressed up the 1,000 right off? Or no, you pressed 500 and then another 500.
Yep, and then when we got ordered, we pressed another 500.
Is there any difference between the first 500 and the second 500?
None. No.
Okay.
I just kept the mothers and just, yeah.
And making the covers, the sleeves, was that all stamped by the band?
Yeah. Or whoever could rope in, they wanted to sit down and stamp 1,000 albums, or 500 at least. I think they all went out with the stamp on them. So we get a few of my friends around, buy a slab of beer, and some of them are very messy at the end.
So you guys had stamps that said The Victims, Television Addict, and
yeah, but you can't fit it all on, so I had to have VIC, and then another one that went, TIM, and maybe an S at the end.
Oh, okay, yeah, because the S looks different than the rest of the letters, so it looks, some of them look upside down. So you guys had stamping parties. Do you remember where you got the sleeves, or did the record company give you those white sleeves too?
Now that's what came in, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know whatever happened to those stamps? Do you still have those stamps?
No, that's certainly gone.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Larry found some stamps for the reissue of The Victims, but they were slightly bigger, and he put it on, made up 500 copies, I suppose.
Oh, this is Hardy from In the Red?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you sold through the Television Addict singles. They all went pretty quick. Do you remember, still having boxes of them or having difficulty moving them at all?
People did buy them after the band had broken up. We had still plenty to leave around, but record shops were buying them, and we got rid of them all, and they shot up in value pretty quickly.
Oh yeah. You find one in good condition, it's probably worth more than a good used car these days.
Yeah.
And then pretty quickly thereafter, because I guess Television Addict did pretty well for you, because pretty quickly thereafter, there was the EP, No Thanks to the Human Turd.
I had nothing to do with that. I'm not taking claim for that one.
Okay.
I think that was Dave having a shot at the other guy in the band.
Oh, so the Human Turd was in the band, maybe not you. Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was me.
Okay. But there were some sleeves on that. There was only 500 of those pressed, if I'm right.
Yes, there was. Yeah.
Okay. And there was the picture sleeve on that one. So you guys weren't doing as much stamping on these. Do you remember making the sleeves or how those sleeves were made?
Not really. Some had hand painting on them, some, which, not many, maybe 100, maybe 50 or something.
Yeah.
I didn't think we'd have to do, I didn't, that, the sleeve, I don't know how we got the sleeve pressed, but it was the same white bag. And there's a photo on that, and there's a photo on the back, I think. No.
Yeah. I think it's just a couple of numbers on the back.
Yeah.
Some
A and B
text.
and what the songs are. Yeah, that's right. I haven't looked at it for ages.
Uh-huh.
I've only got a bootleg copy of it.
Ah, okay. Well, we got to find you one of those, too. We're putting together a proper shopping list for you, James. Did you sell them at shows, or were they only available through record stores?
We sold them at shows and record shops as well. So there's no mail order things or anything like that. Even though we did put an address on our poster. So some people wrote to us some weird things, some weird little country towns, and, wanted a copy. It was $2, by the way.
Oh, that would have been a good investment. Does it surprise you how dear those records are these days?
Yes. Yes. We just made this record thinking, well, some people might play it on the radio, and maybe. We were still a bit naive then to realize they're not going to play that stuff on the radio unless it's university radio or something.
Yeah. What were your expectations? Because, again, you'd been traveling and you came back, and here you are in probably the most remote city on the planet, doing music that is quite the acquired taste in the day. What was the thought about where the band, what the band would do? Hey there, audiophiles. If you're seeking stylish furniture to showcase your stereo and record collection, well, look no further than SidetrackedWorkshop.com. Sidetracked Workshop designs extraordinarily elegant record cabinets and consoles that add sophistication and panache to your music hobby. Handcrafted in the good old USA in the vinyl-loving city of Portland, Oregon, Sidetracked Workshop's designs are a music lover's dream. Made with real walnut veneered wood and brass accents, these gorgeous designs add class and taste to the record room and ship fully assembled and ready to enjoy. Just check out the designs for yourself at SidetrackedWorkshop.com. Look, you spend thousands of dollars on records. Don't keep them in a crate, and don't risk your records on those feeble wooden pegs from IKEA. Your music deserves the dignity of Sidetracked Workshop. That's SidetrackedWorkshop.com. Elegant solutions for the vinyl lifestyle. Oh, and hey, record nerds, don't forget to clean your records with the very best and safest record cleaner, the Groove Washer. Make your records look and sound their very best, and store them with confidence using the new Groove Washer Groove Guard record sleeves. You gotta try this out. It makes a huge difference to the quality of your vinyl experience. Ask for the Groove Washer by name at your local record store and accept no substitutes. Or head over to groovewasher.com and use discount code VINYLGUIDE10.
All hail the Groove Washer.
That's groovewasher.com, discount code VINYLGUIDE10. Yeah, what were your expectations? Because, again, you'd been traveling and you came back, and here you are in probably the most remote city on the planet, doing music that is quite the acquired taste in the day. What was the thought about where the band, what the band would do?
The bass player, well, what can I say? Just pretty hard to get along with. Used to get a bit out of it, which sort of didn't really bother us that much. But in the end, Dave just had enough, and he called it quits. Which the things I regret is that we didn't go and play in Sydney and Melbourne, and that we didn't make a full-length album because we certainly got the songs, you know?
Yeah, because there were quite a few that came out a few years later, all loud on the Western Front.
Oh, yeah. Our manager did that.
Oh, okay. You guys weren't involved in that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. That was on Timber Yard Records.
Yes.
What do you remember about Timber Yard?
Timber Yard, well, the guy who run it, his name is Mick Danius. He was, it can be quite vague and weird about, not about money, but about how everything should be done. But having said that, he signed up some good bands like UMI and oh God, I forget some of the other ones that they had. He mainly just did singles and maybe a couple of albums, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Black Dirt, I think, were also on that label. A few others. I got to say, you know, there's been these recent recordings, these recent releases, Horror Smash and Girls Don't Go for Punks, with Ray Ahn on bass.
Yes.
Now, whose idea was that to get them back together for a couple of last rounds with the Victims?
I think mainly me, really.
Mm-hmm.
It was my idea to get Ray in because Ray was a big fan of the Victims since he was 15. Mm-hmm. He made his own Victims T-shirt.
Yeah.
And and he was perfect, you know, for the band. Yeah.
Oh, he's great, and I know he's so proud of his time playing with his heroes. I was also happy to see Girls Don't Go for Punks. It's a very limited edition, mixed by Ed Stasium.
Yes, he's a friend of Dave Faulkner's,
mm-hmm.
and he did it for free.
Oh, well, that's that's something new for Ed.
Yeah. Oh, you know him, do you?
Yeah. So for those who may not know, I'll put links to an episode where we had him on the show. But yeah, his name is all over those early Ramones records, and he's got some golden ears.
Yeah.
There was apparently a special edition only sold at the final gig. Where was the final? Was the final gig? It was in Perth.
In our short career, yes, it was, but longer ones, no, it was one in Sydney and one in Melbourne. We did a couple of tours.
Okay.
So they were the last gigs on the tour. Is that what you meant? Or?
Yeah. You guys did one last year, and I remember you played Sydney, but I wasn't sure if you did a final one in Perth.
Yeah, Larry's going to put that one out.
Oh, okay. So there's more to come.
Yeah, there's a whole live album.
Oh.
And that was a pretty good gig in Sydney. So.
Oh, phenomenal. Okay. Well, I know you've got a lot of stuff happening these days. So a live Victims album's fantastic. I hope we see that in the coming months, maybe.
Yeah, after Christmas, he said, you know, he'll put it out. So,
all right,
that'd be good. I've heard it. It sounds really good.
Oh, great. All right. I'll bug Larry about that when the time's right. You've got a couple releases right now, which are, again, to see you putting this music out, quite rapid pace. You've got the new Beasts record, Ultimo, right now, and I'll put a link in this episode page where people can order it. It comes with a bonus album, The Beasts Alive, as well as the James Baker Beat featuring Don Mariani.
Yes.
Now you got Victims coming. You got a lot of stuff going on. That's great.
Yeah, it's been a busy year for that. My wife tried to get me to do 7 new records in my 70th year. And if you count a few re-releases, I made it there, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you're already there? Or do you have 1 or 2 left to go?
Oh, no, I still got a few left to go.
All right. So you went from Victims and formed Scientists. So Dave broke up Victims. Mm-hmm. Tell me the story about the formation of Scientists leading up to that Frantic Romantic single.
I think they phoned me up the day after they found out the Victims had gone and wanted me to join. And I knew Kim. And I said, yeah.
Okay. You weren't unemployed more than 24 hours.
Yeah, I know. It was funny. It didn't take us long to get some songs together. And yeah, but that band stuck around for 3 years. So it wasn't like the Victims.
Right. So the Frantic Romantic single, what was the story on that? Again, was that self-financed from the band?
Basically, but we got members of the audience to give us some money to make it. Or they volunteered to help, you know.
Do you remember how many copies were made? This is Frantic Romantic, Shake Together Tonight.
All right, here's another weird story. We put it out and sent it to Bang Records in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
BOMP Records, sorry.
BOMP, okay, yep.
Yeah. And he ordered 500 copies. So we were so excited by us getting a record out on a label with it's got the Flaming Groovies and Iggy and the Stooges on it, you know. And so we sent him the 500, and we never got paid.
Oh.
And what I found out, you know, Iggy Pop had not been paid, and these other people who were big stars,
yeah.
You know.
So you were in good company, because I know the Black Flag guys, they cite Scientist as a key influence for them.
Right.
And it's probably that record that kind of lit that fire for them, put you guys on the map in Southern California. So making that record, now this was a little bit of a higher quality record, Frantic Romantic, because there was a sleeve that was printed and even had some color on it.
Yes.
Do you remember the quantity? Was it so you sent 500 to LA, so you probably made at least 1,000?
You know, 1,000 all up then. Yeah.
Okay. And so you guys must have been quite pleased with the response of that.
Yeah, it got good reviews, and to Australia with it, you know.
Mm-hmm. And by this time you'd moved to Sydney, is that right?
Yes.
And DNA Records is what Frantic Romantic was on. So that was just made up by the band, just that label for that one record?
Yes, it was made by a fan of the band, actually.
Okay.
And he wanted to start a record label, but he only got as far as us. Then he didn't do it anymore. So,
well, if you don't if you don't get paid for half your pressing, that could be a discouraging thing. So the Scientist EP then came out shortly thereafter. That was on the label White Rider Records.
Right.
Who was White Rider Records?
White Rider was a good indie record shop in Perth, and the owner, you know, paid for the recording, and wanted us to be the first issue on his label. And I don't know if anything else come out on that label. He's a jinx from us.
No, he got 4 records. He went 4 times as long. He had the Scientists, Ground Zero, and 1 record from the Rockets. So yeah, that's 3 total.
Right.
He did better than the first guy. And the album, The Scientists. Now that was the first long play album where you guys had to get together about a dozen songs. How different was that for you? You're used to doing singles and EPs, and now all of a sudden the band's doing quite a few songs. Was that a big change for you?
Not really. I mean, you know, the Victims EP had like 5 songs on it. I mean, that's a half an album, you know, so we're used to it. No, that wasn't any surprise.
And you know, that record is also quite collectible. Can't touch a copy of it for less than $500 these days.
Yeah, I saw it the other day for $500. I couldn't believe it. I thought, I got one of them at home.
Yeah, that ain't cheap. Now, it was on the label EMI Custom Records. Do I read that to mean that, again, that was a self-financed record?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember how many were made of that?
I think there's 1,000 of those ones. I can't be sure on that one, but...
Do you remember the distribution? Again, do you sell them at gigs, mainly through record stores?
No, the group had actually broken up when that got released.
Oh.
So people we wouldn't have been any live gigs to promote it because we didn't have it until I moved to Sydney and got a test pressing of that. I remember that.
You still got that?
Oh, yeah, it must be down there, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you better find that and make sure it's not in the sun.
No, it's not. It's going to be 41 degrees here tomorrow, so that you're talking about that type of sun, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a different kind of sun down here.
Yeah.
Now, I also have this very interesting record here, my hands here. You're quite familiar with this. The James Baker Experience. Oh, no, it's James Baker Experience. I Can't Control Myself, with the backside Born to Be Punched, which has got to be one of the best song titles in the universe. Tell me about this record.
But John Foy approached me and, to make a solo single. I go, yeah, but, I don't think I can sing. He goes, don't worry. Just we'll get your friends together and we'll go in. And so we did. We went into a studio and just did the whole thing in about one afternoon. So
what proof did he have that you could do this? Had he heard you kind of singing before? What?
Yeah, I used to get up and do I Can't Control Myself with the Gurus. And sometimes a Beast of Bourbon.
Were the Beasts around at this time?
Yes. Half of them play on the record. Tex Perkins.
Yeah, I saw Stu on here, Stu Spasm.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was in the Beast of Bourbon for a while too.
Tell me your recollections of forming Beasts of Bourbon.
Tex came down from Brisbane with a band called the Dum Dums. And they went back about, they were supposed to do 2 weeks, I think. After 1 week, they had enough and they quit the band and moved back to Brisbane. And he had 3 or 4 gigs lined up. And Spencer said, well, I'll get a band. I'll help you out, And so we all got approached and, just said, we'll do this for fun. And there was a lot of covers in the early version. I think they were just to make up numbers to start so we could do those gigs.
Mm-hmm.
That text had already been promised.
Were you still in the Hoodoo Gurus at this point, or were you a free agent?
No, I was a free agent.
Okay.
When we did Axeman's Jazz, that was done in 1 day. And that came out about the same time as Stone Nose Romeo's.
Yeah, Axeman's Jazz, that came out on Green Records, which was a short-lived label. I think Stuart Coupe was involved in it and a few others. So was it pretty quick coming together in terms of making that record? From going from not having a band to getting those covers together and playing those gigs to then recording the record?
Yeah. Well, that was pretty easy, really. I mean, the band was well liked. So when we first started, I guess because I had all these guys in it, from the Scientists and the Victims and the Johnnies and the Hoodoo Gurus, all in one band. And so people come. We didn't have any problem getting people along to watch us.
And as a name for a band, Beasts of Bourbon, pretty hard to beat.
Yeah.
So you guys started as a bit of a fun project, and here you are 40 years later celebrating another release.
Yeah. It came out in 1983, so that's a while ago, the first album, yeah.
What are some of your memories of those early days, especially with the Axeman's Jazz? And was there a lot of international touring? I know at one point Tex was having a difficult time getting into the UK.
Yeah. I remember that. We sent him some money to get home.
Just kind of going through your recorded history, so much Australian music history has been weaved around your drum kit. Are there any particular songs or projects that we haven't talked about that you are particularly proud of or have good memories for you?
I'm proud of most of the stuff I've done, It's all come out, pretty good,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's nothing there that I'm embarrassed about. Oh, no, nothing.
And you're remaining very, very active. James Baker and the Groundbreakers, the Born to Rock. You're working with Wayne Smith on this. And again, on In the Red Records. Again, you're staying very active and very prolific.
Probably sounds more, than a lot of times sitting around doing nothing.
Not this year.
No, this year. And last year was, this year. So it's still this year, isn't it? Right. No, this has been a busy year, even though I haven't played that much live. The other years I, did lots of live playing around.
It's pretty clear you're still eager to record and make new music and put it out. But live playing, is that kind of off the table these days?
I've got a big Beast of Bourbon tour coming up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, Sydney and Melbourne to promote the new album. Have you heard that yet?
Ultimo, right?
Yeah.
I've heard Ultimo.
Oh, so you actually went and bought it. So it's in the shops, is it?
It is available on Bandcamp.
Oh, okay.
And so people can order the Beast. It's the Beast now, not Beast of Bourbon, but the Beast Ultimo, beast.bandcamp.com. And if they order now, like I did, you get the bonus album, the live album. I think that's a part-time, that's a limited time thing, I believe.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they were doing that.
Yeah.
I am a long way away from them.
They're doing all sorts of stuff without you there. So that's great. Okay, so there are some live gigs in the queue as well. You've lived the lives of many men and a few beasts in there as well. Is there anything that you want to still complete? Anything that you would like to see done before your final sunset?
No, just keep playing. Keep do another album with the Beast of Bourbon. Sorry, the Beast.
The Beast, yeah. Okay, so there's the real possibility we'll have another Beasts album in the future.
Well, yeah, the way that one was recorded, we were in Melbourne on tour, and there was a gig here in Perth, and Perkins, and all we had to do was go finish off in Melbourne, 2 gigs, and he said, "Why don't we do a new album like the Axeman's Jazz? We got Sunday and Monday off." And I said, "Wow, has anyone got any songs?" And people, put their hand up, No, I got a bit of a song, and someone else said, "Look, I got half a song here. We can work on it. We need some words. You want to write some, or you want to write a guitar riff?" Or so that was an achievement that I thought, to make that record in 2 days is all we had. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty fearless to be able to go into a recording studio with a semi-blank slate, nothing that's been rehearsed, and then come out with a brand new
I
record.
didn't even know what beat to play under the songs until I heard them, and I only heard them at the recording session. The tape was rolling. All right, James, this one's a bit like the Heartbreakers. Okay, all right, I get the drift, and but it all come out good. I think it's pretty good,
That's a real testament to the chemistry the band has together. To be able to go in together with fragments of ideas and then come out with that finished product with confidence and to the quality level that it comes out to be. So that is really special.
Yeah, no, the Beasts were a good band. Live, they're a good band too. That's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's good fun to play as well.
Are there any recordings or any sessions that you played that haven't been released that you think would be of interest, especially to music historians and record nerds?
No, not really. No. All the ones that you're talking to me about, that's the whole lot. Yeah.
Okay.
You probably haven't heard the new single, but
I haven't.
It's not out yet. No, it's not out.
I think by the time this comes out, it will be available, and I understand it's available. It'll be available on Cheer Squad.
Yes.
Yeah. Which again, I will put that link in this episode page. Well, James, it's been an absolute pleasure, an absolute honor to have you here on the show. Again, I want to make sure everyone knows about The Beasts Ultimo, thebeasts.bandcamp.com. You get the record now, and it comes with a bonus record, a live record, as well as the James Baker Beat featuring Don Mariani, Friday Night Friends. That's going to be available on Cheer Squad. Again, I'll put those links in this episode page. Grab them, because you know what happened to James's early records. If you'd spent $2 in 1978 on one of those, you'd practically be able to, buy yourself a new car. So make sure you don't sleep on these either, okay? James, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, and you're welcome back anytime. Always love to hear what you're up to.
Oh, thanks a lot. It's lovely to be on your show.
What an absolutely beautiful dude, man. That was a great way to wrap up the year of 2024 and get ready for some relaxing, whether you're in the Northern Hemisphere and keeping your jackets on and figuring out how to wrap your house water pipes so they don't explode, or you're in the Southern Hemisphere trying to find your board shorts and take the dog to the beach. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. The rest of 2024 and early 2025 is strong for each of you. I hope you have great periods of joy and relaxation and fulfillment of your heart and soul and everything in between. We wish you a very safe holiday. Spin some records, and we'll see you in 2025. Thanks again, everyone. And don't worry, we'll be back shortly with a brand new episode. So until next time, go out and buy some records, people. Cheers.